The more ruthless an ex appears during a breakup, the more likely they are to regret it later. Many people who seem decisive aren't really heartless. They're just putting on a show for themselves. They don't want to leave themselves an escape route, so they speak with finality and act with brutal decisiveness. In that moment of breaking up, they genuinely want to end a relationship that's making them unhappy. And right after the split, they do feel an unprecedented sense of relief and freedom, as if the very air is filled with liberation. This freedom can even make you wonder, how did someone who once loved you so deeply suddenly become a completely different person after the breakup? Don't worry, this is exactly where relationships reach a turning point. Some people, thrown off balance psychologically and unable to let go or accept the loss, start clinging desperately. But the more you cling, the longer they'll maintain that cold, heartless facade. They might even become more convinced that breaking up was the right decision. Gradually, all the power shifts completely, and you become increasingly passive. But there's another type of person who chooses to quietly work on themselves and change after a breakup. Before long, that once decisive ex starts having regrets. They might come back tentatively, their words tinged with reluctance and remorse. The problem is, most people can't handle this moment right. They either give in too quickly, throwing themselves at their ex like a desperate fool the moment they return, only to get rejected again, or they hesitate endlessly, stubbornly sticking to the principle of better to miss out than to lower myself, watching true love slip away. The truth is, relationships aren't that complicated. This isn't child's play. There's no need for strategic advances and retreats or playing hard to get. When two people are together, isn't it just about getting along well and growing together? Nobody's born knowing how to manage emotions or provide security. If you actually meet someone who seems to have it all figured out, either they're putting on an act, or they've been hurt so deeply in past relationships that they're no longer willing to invest everything. In that case, they might think you're decent enough and that settling is acceptable. But people like this rarely love deeply. When love isn't deep, they don't care as much. What looks like peaceful coexistence actually lacks the weight of real love. And what's the point of a relationship like that? Maybe it's just two wounded people settling for each other's warmth. So while you still have that fire in your heart, while there's still someone who makes you willing to risk everything, be brave and hold on tight. Because some people, once you lose them, will never appear in your life again. Opportunities for love aren't unlimited. Meeting someone who makes your heart race and ache at the same time is rare enough as it is. Cherishing the present moment might be the only certainty we can actually control.